So forget the net loss last night. It was brutal, double overtime, the bad injury and all of that happened. But the big story this morning is I'm walking in today, some guy on the street who I have no idea who he is, obviously knew who I was, grabs me and says, "You hear it? The Mets did it." I go, "What'd they do? They made it to Syracuse?" He goes, No. Because they had a 3.5-hour wait on the tarmac.
I don't even know if they've made it.
I'm sure that was fun.
Right.
I'm sure they enjoyed that. I'm sure Syndergaard was just doing a dance about that. But anyway, no, they signed Jake. I'm like, really? Jake deGrom? He goes, yeah. 5 years. What do you get, $130 million, something like that? What do you get?
He got 5 years, 137. There's team options, there are player options, and I got to just say, thank God.
You know what? And I got to tell you, too, let's thank also, I want to thank people that I think deserve thanking on this, too. The Boston Red Sox for signing Chris Sale, the Houston Astros for signing Justin Verlander, and all of that. You know, Arenado signing, Trout signing, all of that, I think led to the Mets having
Wait a second.
to sign deGrom.
So you don't think it's been in the works for a while?
But you're just like the Tom Seaver statue. Years, been going on for years.
You know what, though?
That.
Here's what I said about the Seaver statue. It's the same thing. I don't care.
No, I'm glad you're doing it.
I don't care.
But I really buy it. It took
That's
a lot
fine.
of that kind of stuff to finally get it done.
I think public pressure has a little bit to do with it, too.
Sure.
I think Noah Syndergaard making comments may get them over the finish line.
No doubt about it.
I think there's a lot of factors, but the overall factor
It's done.
is the thing I was screaming about for months and even years. It makes sense for everybody.
Indeed.
There's nothing more infuriating when you see something that works for both sides and it doesn't happen. This makes sense for Jake. He is now protected. He knows he's getting his $17 million this year, 10 by way of a signing bonus. He knows he's getting 23 next year. He knows in what would have been his free agent year, he's getting $33.5 million.
Not bad.
He knows the year after that he's getting $33.5 million, and he knows the year after that he has the option to get another $30 million. So for
Isn't there an opt-out in this deal after 22?
That's what I'm talking about. He has the option.
Oh, he's got the option.
At 30.5 in 2023.
Okay.
If he opts
but it's
into
his
that,
opt-out.
It's his opt-out.
Okay.
The year after that, the Mets have the option in 2024.
I see.
So
okay.
For Jake, this is great. Look at all this guaranteed money he's got.
Yep, and it's great for the Mets and us and the Met fans.
Of course. So the Mets have at least bought out a couple of free agent years. They have bought out 2 of his free agent years, 3 if Jake opts in at 2023. It's great for the Mets because this idea that the Mets were better off not giving him an extension and letting him get to free agency was ridiculous.
No, he was never coming. He would have been gone. God knows who we've been pitching for.
Either, Joe, he'd be gone, or you would have given him a worse contract.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So this just made sense.
He would have been gone. I'm confident he would have been gone.
Probably, just like Zach Wheeler will probably be gone.
Yeah, well.
But this just made freaking sense.
Yep.
And you're right. As we're sitting here as fans and we're seeing Chris Sale and Alex Bregman and Eloy Jimenez, who has not played a game yet in the major leagues.
Right.
And we're seeing all of these guys in different parts of their careers signing extensions. Our lonely eyes turned to Jacob deGrom.
Indeed.
And we're going to find out.
I like that. Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio?
Well, we know where Jake's gone. Opening day in D.C., baby.
There you go.
And we're going to find out if we are right that because of the lack of innings this guy has thrown, because of the type of pitcher he is, will he be able to age gracefully into his 30s? I believe he will. Obviously, the Mets believe it because they just made a $100 million plus bet on it, and I think he will. And I'm ecstatic because this guy, whether some Met fans wanted to admit it at the time or not, has now made it clear he's the ace. It was Matt Harvey for a while. It really wasn't. It was Noah Syndergaard for a while. It really wasn't. It was always this guy. And finally, not from just the fans, but from this organization, the man is getting the respect he deserves. He may not have the hype. He may not have the nickname. He may not get into Twitter feuds with Mr. Met or Mike Francesa. But he is the unquestioned ace of the New York Mets, and he's going to be here for the bulk of his career. Thank you, Brody. Thank you, Will Pond, either one of them, Jeff or Fred. Thank you, Jake. Thank you for sanity, because it would have made no sense if they didn't agree to a deal. Thank you, sanity.
And now we can play baseball.
Let's go.
Now we can start.
Let's go.
Peter Alonso will be at first base.
Let's go.
Big Jake will be on the mound.
Let's go.
And we can rock and roll.
And you know what?
Everybody's happy.
We don't have to think about Syracuse.
Oh, my God.
And
Did he ever get
flights.
to Syracuse? Can you imagine? Seriously. After all the hoopla with Syndergaard, and I'm sure it was plenty, it wasn't just Syndergaard, he voiced it, but I'm sure there was plenty of guys on the team that were just as aggravated about it. And then they had to sit on the runway 3.5 hours. Oh, my God.
You know,
are you serious?
you always say, it makes me laugh sometimes, you would say, hey, what would the odds be? Well, I'd love to get a bet on this. Well, as I was reading the tweets that the Mets were stuck on the tarmac, I was thinking, what kind
From the
of
Mets?
bet? What was that?
You tweets from the Mets?
Did I tweet
The
from the
tweets
Mets?
no, the tweets you were reading were from the Mets?
No, tweets from the beat writers,
I
kind of
see.
updating the
I see.
tarmac situation.
I get it.
I started thinking to myself, I would have loved to have taken a bet that their flight was going to be delayed 3.5 hours because it was only fitting considering nobody wanted to go there.
Of course.
But the real issue was not going to Syracuse. The real issue is the fact they went to Sarasota.
Yeah.
Why they going there?
Here's what I don't understand about all of this, okay? Couldn't this have been scheduled better?
Yes.
I mean, did they have to wait till the last second? I mean, I don't know what the deal is on spring training games. I don't know if is there an amount you have to play?
I have no idea.
I mean, I don't know. So did you really need to play this game against the Orioles yesterday in Sarasota? Did you need to play that game?
No.
How about traveling, forget the game. We're going to leave Monday to go to Syracuse, Monday morning, like right away, and there's no issue.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it.
Or
I mean,
do
it makes no sense.
Or do it Sunday. I mean,
Right.
give yourself time.
Right.
But you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The Mets aren't going to lose on Thursday afternoon or lose 90 games because of this trip.
No.
And I really think, I know that when you've got 25 men in a locker room, not everybody's going to love each other. I understand that. But I genuinely think that most Met players right now are happy for Jake. And they don't care about the fact they're in Syracuse.
No, that's a big deal. And look, and Syndergaard, you're down on him for, what he said about Syracuse, but he was dead on about this whole thing with deGrom. And I bet you there was a ton of guys in that locker room that felt the same way. Hey, what the hell are they doing here?
You know what? I was thinking more and more about it with Syndergaard. I liked what Noah said about Jake. My point about Syracuse was I think it was important for him to make the trip. It should have been scheduled better.
Sure.
He probably shouldn't be complaining about it. But Todd Frazier, who I'm no fan of, but Todd Frazier actually changed my mind because Frazier basically came out and in so many words said, we all agree with Noah.
Yeah,
and so
he did
Noah
say that. Yep.
appeared to be taking one for the team, where Noah was going to say, you know what?
Right.
I'm going to take the heat for this. Don't worry, Conforto.
Yeah.
You can just say,
you're right.
You could be good.
Right.
I'm going to be the bad guy.
Right.
And I think that does show a little bit of leadership.
Yeah, well, hopefully there's a lot of unity on his team, and it's going to reflect in how they play all year. Let's hope that's the case.
Absolutely. Even if it's unity against ownership.
Whatever it is, hey, if that's the reason they go out and win, great.
Hey,
they want to go win 105 because they don't like the owners, I'm in for that.
That's how the Indians
just join the rest of the fan base.
That's right. Exactly.
That's it.
Hey, it worked for the Indians in the early 90s when their owner was threatening to move to Miami. I'm talking about the movie Major League and, Wild Thing Vaughn and all those guys, Roger Dorn, and they started taking pieces of the owner's clothing, not real, but the clothing off the mannequin, whatever it was, until she was naked. It motivated them, and that's how the Indians at least got to the playoffs.
There you go.
I think they lost at some point to the White Sox. At least that's what we found out in Major League 2.
Right, there you go.
But they had
that's
run.
a fantasy. They lost to the White Sox.
I think that's how it ended. But sure, if they need to be motivated, go motivate. But this is great news, and hopefully this leads to more extensions down the road. I don't expect them to lock up Noah. It's funny. Syndergaard yesterday, while he was stuck on the tarmac, decided to do a Twitter Q&A. And so all these Met fans are asking Syndergaard questions. He also was a little annoyed at Mike because I guess Mike had a video.
Mike ripped him, I guess, right? About Mike had a video? What do you mean a video?
I think he was interviewed by your boy Jonas Schwartz.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. You know what? And now that you say it, when I was walking out the building yesterday, Jonas was coming in with a photographer. And he was telling me that's what they were doing about this whole. Because Mike's going to, obviously have like 2 or 3 partners. That's what we hear.
2 or 3?
Well, that's what we hear.
Are you starting new rumors?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard partner.
Partners?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maybe Jonas Schwartz.
Yeah.
When I first saw that video, I thought Jonas was getting the job.
You never know.
I was like, wow.
Maybe it's Dove.
Maybe. But I guess in the video, Mike ripped Noah. And so Noah said, I'm just here for the comments or something like that. But Noah was answering all these questions. So I asked Noah a question. Of course, he didn't answer my question, but I thought it was a really good question. You know what it was?
What's that?
I said, Noah, would you accept Aaron Nola's extension? 4 years, $45 million.
Oh, and he didn't answer it?
Of course not. He should, though.
Yeah.
Because if he says yes, if he said yes to that, I'd be on the phone with Brody saying, what the hell are you waiting for?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd take that risk.
I bet you he would take it. He's just not going to answer it.
4 years, 45?
Yeah, I'm not surprised he wouldn't answer that.
I'd take that bet, though, on Noah. I know
he
he's
probably
missed
would.
time the last 2 years, but I'd
would.
take that bet.
Yeah.
I feel good about Syndergaard this year.
Yeah, I do too. I tell you what. Look, I like Syndergaard a lot, and I just think that the guy's got major chutzpah. The guy, it stuns me too because when we interviewed him, I go back to that interview we had back at the All-Star game 100 years ago now. When he looked like he was the most timid, like afraid of new. I mean, he's anything but that.
No,
this guy.
He's morphed into something else.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
He's getting into tweet wars with Francesa. He's ripping the management.
He's anything but that.
Look,
they threw the ball at the head of in the World Series of
Alcides Escobar.
Escobar, right?
Yeah, the thing about Noah, the most important thing about Noah is he's got to pitch.
Well, that's it.
And I'm not ripping him for it because it's health. I get that. But he's got to go out there and pitch.
Yeah.
He made 25 starts last year. He made 7 the year before that. Let's add those numbers together. That gets to 32. How about you hit that number in 2019?
Yeah. Well,
because
let's hope.
Because I'm confident that if Noah makes 32 starts, he's going to be good.
He's going to have a big year.
And maybe great.
Yep.
But now the ace is signed, and we can begin this baseball season. We can begin it, and maybe after 2 years of horribleness and a little bit of a tease last year when they got off to that 11-1 start.
Ridiculous 11-1 start.
Maybe this will be the year where the Mets can actually give us not only a meaningful September, but a fun October a la 2015. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's play some damn baseball.
Indeed.
So we'll get your reaction to the Jake extension. We'll talk to Sweeney a little bit later about the Yankees as we get you ready for opening day. There's some football news to discuss, including the thing you're annoyed about, that the Bears and Packers are opening up the NFL season on a Thursday. Mike McCagnon sounds like he's ready to sell that number 3 pick in the draft.
Not crazy about that either. He better get some deal if he's going to do that.
No doubt. We'll get to all that coming up at Ingo and Roberts here in the midday.